Ravikumar sir,
Sir, yes, sir.
shall we start?
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
So, once again, we welcome you all. So, due to medical emergency, Dr. Vijay Kumar sir session will be handled by Professor P. Ravikumar sir. So, Vijay Kumar sir will join by tomorrow's afternoon session. To be inspired is great, but to be an inspiration is an honor. In this grateful occasion, I feel happy to welcome you all for this session, and I welcome our today's chief guest, Professor P. Ravikumar sir, Assistant Professor, Department of EEE, KPR Institute of Engineering and Technology. I feel honored and happy to introduce our today's chief guest. He received his bachelor's degree in Electrical and Electronics Engineering from Vellalar Engineering College in the year 2009 and master's degree in Power Electronics Drives and Control from Anna University in 2011. He has 10 years of academic and research experience in the field of power converters, power management system for various drive systems, electric vehicle and its application, design of charging stations. He has published 25 plus research papers related to power converters, EV technology, and design of charging stations. He has completed 50 plus NPTEL online certification courses, and he enriched his technical skills through online certification courses related to EV applications, design of power converters for EV technology. Currently, he is doing his research in the field of energy management system for EV technology and design of charging stations for EV technologies. His research areas includes multi-port converters, reduction of power quality issues, EMI and EMC, battery-powered electric vehicles. Sir, on behalf of organizing team, I request you to take over the session and handle the session on installation of charging station and opportunities for new entrepreneurs. Sir, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the introduction and really happy to join you all for the ATL session. Actually, it was planned for tomorrow's session, and unfortunately, it had to be shifted for to the second session of today. So, I'm P. Ravi Kumar. I am part of the organizing team as well as I'm working as assistant professor in the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering in KPR Institute of Engineering and Technology. The topic today given to me is about installation of charging stations and opportunities for new entrepreneurs. And at KPR IET, we are supporting, we are working towards the Sustainable Development Goals. And for this process or the campaign, we have selected our SDG 7, which is about affordable clean energy as a part of our process, and we are very much towards contributing to the nation. So, as a part of the department progress and as an ISR activity, we are concentrating on towards UN SDG Goal 7. So, at this juncture, I would like to also inform you that we have been doing a lot of webinars with related to electric vehicle technology, and this is our third ATAL FDP based on stuff. Moving on with so today's talk will be mostly on charging station and few opportunities for new entrepreneurs where they can try to incorporate few things. So at KPR IET, we work towards the UN SDG goals. All our activities are oriented towards the development of the nation in some or the other way. Usually, we do take up SDG 4 for quality education, affordable energy, and sustainable cities and communities, along with UN SDG 9, which is about industry innovation and infrastructure. At this juncture, I will also request everyone, every participant, to support in this cause because we are in a pandemic situation, and working towards this common goal will help us to make this place a better one. So a small note on SDG 7. So there are a lot of efforts which are taken up to provide clean energy, and many countries have stepped up their processes many policies have been framed, many infrastructure has been developed, and even during this pandemic situation, we are trying to cope up with the energy shortfalls or the maybe in other situations as well. In TN Tamil Nadu, what we are paying electricity bill, the measurement of electricity bill. So all those things can be helped with installation of renewable system when at home through in the coming year, so that we'll be able to aid the country during the crisis time also. And through these kind of lectures and with respect to electric vehicle, we hope that we will be able to do justice. So in terms of energy conversion or with CO2 emission or reducing the pollution as well. So this is about SDG 7. So the preview or my talk will be on we'll have a, it is a vast topic, so I'll try to cover glimpses of the types of electric vehicle, the trend in electric vehicle sale and abroad and India, maybe about some of the converter connectors which are available, and few charging infrastructure which is readily available, and few policies which have been generated, and with respect to solar PV, how we can just a glimpse on the future technology, what is possible with solar PV. Moving on, a glimpse on the various types of electric vehicles which are on road. So it is quite common to have a conventional vehicle where with the prices going up around which is hitting around 100, and we are at this pandemic situation, and with the trying to cope up with these changes, it is high time to move towards the hybrid electric vehicles or with totally converted electric vehicles. So with the start at now, we have in Indian conditions, we have a lot of hybrid electric vehicle which is on road. We can see a couple of products from Innova, sorry, Toyota, which has hybrid electric vehicle, which comprises of both the conventional engine as well as the our power electronic controls and converters and motors, which help us in the traction purpose. Next, we have a fuel hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicle, where the the fuel which we are using is the hydrogen fuel, which is converted into a propellant, and we are using for that. Next, we have a total battery electric vehicle, where we load battery pack at the base, and we try to charge those batteries, and we without the conventional IC engine, we are trying to make it up. Next comes a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, which is the talk of the town, as it combines the combination of conventional vehicle, and we have the possibility of charging the vehicle through electric power also. So it is, we are with the present trend, we can assume that we are India is slowly lagging behind this technology, but we are in the race, as we will be able to see it in next couple of sites. So now the talk will be mostly on about the charging infrastructure. So I'll be leaving out the hydrogen fuel cells and hybrid electric vehicle. It will be more on plug-in electric vehicle and battery electric vehicle, and how we can charge those vehicles as well. So there are a lot of initiatives which are taken all over the world. For example, Clean Energy Ministerial has put in a lot of effort, and it has come up with beautiful campaigns where we are there. The main aim is about creating clean energy in the environment, and as a part of their initiative, they have they have which is which is it is an international forum where it asks people to formulate policies, make new products, share the knowledge, and so that it would be helpful for us to do a great job. And one of the initiative is electric vehicle initiative, where we are supposed to move towards clean usage of clean energy for traction purpose. And the proud moment here is India is part of the member crew, and we are progressing along with the other superpowers. Maybe China, Canada, they have abundant renewable energy. They might be advanced with the technology. We are trying to cope up with them, and we are moving towards with the help of the support, maybe sometimes with the technical skill or with the financial aspect as well. There are many campaigns, as you could see, it is about biofuture campaign, long-term scenarios for energy transition, distributed generation, strategic regions, advanced power plant flexibility, advanced cooling challenges, nearly zero energy buildings. These are few campaigns which have been announced by Clean Energy Ministerial. We will consider talking about only two a glimpse of the two campaigns which are related to electric vehicle. One is about global commercial vehicle drive to zero campaign, and EV 3030, which is increasing uptake of electric vehicles as well. With the advancement in technology, it is seen that nowadays the electric trucks are manufactured high in other countries when compared to India, and India has started its manufacturing of EV buses nowadays, and we could see one or two and which has been released. And the main objective of this global commercial vehicle drive to zero is that to make use of transport a lot of things with the help of trucks and other heavy vehicles. So our aim is to reduce the uh, consumption of conventional fuels and go towards clean energy. And many steps have been taken, and maybe by 2030 the regular trucks may be replaced with electric vehicle through some type of charging technologies, so that it is a challenge, but a lot of research work is going on, and the way we are able to execute that is of greater importance. The purpose is to convert those bigger trucks, lorries, maybe buses to electric vehicles, so that we will consume lesser amount of conventional fuel and move towards a cleaner energy. So next is EV 3030. It is a campaign for it is again a campaign by Clean Energy Ministerial. Here we have their task is to support and track the deployment of EV chargers, galvanize public and private sectors commitments to incorporate same, to have EV vehicles, to have suppliers and producers for that. The task is to improve the research and information exchanges between the member nations, to support government through training and capacity building, and to establish EV pilot cities to achieve 100 EV friendly cities over the next 5 years. The global program on electromobility is about mostly on knowledge sharing sessions, where the latest trends or the latest equipments which are available or latest battery types. We know that lithium ion battery is the commonly used, and we are we are making it go. But the program here helps in sharing the knowledge which is available in the other countries as well. EV pilot city program. We are proud that India has taken steps, and it is in the part of creating such smart cities, where we are trying to make the entire city smart and help in the replacing the vehicles with replacing the conventional vehicles with electric vehicles, so that we'll be able to convert the entire city at in a friendly manner, so that in a eco-friendly manner, so that we will do justice towards the nation. And we have our targets as well. For the next 5 years we have to attain a particular level of development, so that even though in this pandemic situation, even though we might delayed by one or two, but still the process of shifting towards electric vehicle and making a entire city, and the type of with the help of Bharat chargers, which you will have a glimpse at the later stage, we are sure that we'll be able to make at least few cities in India which are eco-friendly, and we will be able to make this EV pilot city program a grand success. These types of initiatives are taken as part to improve the utilization of clean energy, so that we conserve the nature in directly or indirect manner. So moving on, to the next session. It is about we are talking about the trends in electric vehicle, which is taking place at a global level. It is a survey taken from International Energy Agency, again, where they are doing a great job with the help of energy ministerial, and we have get a lot of details. Here we can see that China, Europe, and are the main contributors, and this shows the amount of vehicles or amount of vehicles which are sold in these countries. From the graph, it can be easily seen that we are around 11 million vehicles are sold in 2020, and it is around 8 million. There is an increased, at least there is an increase of 3 million, and from 18 to 19 it is an increase of 2 million. It is because of the various schemes or policies which are determined by the government for the benefit of the consumers as well as the producers of EV vehicles, so that we will be able to make and mobilize the electric vehicle in a great manner. In the second chart, we can see that uh, the passenger light commercial vehicles, they are being used much compared to the other vehicles, followed by light commercial vehicles and buses and trucks. The usage of electric vehicles in buses has slightly increased, and we could see it shows a clear indication that China and Europe are the front runners of these type of vehicle technology, and we are in little bit in a sad situation since we are in the others position. This here we could see the as already said, the talk will be mostly on plug-in hybrid electric vehicle and battery electric vehicle. We could see the amount of vehicles which are preferred by people. It can be seen that the plug-in hybrid electric vehicle has gained more interest as it uses the advantages of both the conventional vehicle as well as the battery pack which is available for us. So here also the Europe and China have shown a suitable increase, and we are in the process of going towards it. And these advantages or the how they are making the few points to consider for making such an trend in China and Europe is their, as said earlier, it is their regulatory framework, the amount of incentive they give, the amount of tax reduction they give. These are the things they help us to. They usually help, and over the years we could see the number of uh, models or the type of vehicle, the brands have increased their models, and with the increase of vehicle models, the cost of battery, which was initially high, has come down, and it also causes helps in the procurement of electric vehicle. So next comes country-wise analysis from for the past few years, and here we could see that almost every country is trying to develop. It's only, but in the race, but we are very sad to say that we are in this also. We are in the uh, others other country list, and we will see the Indian uh, company Indian trends in a later slide. But here we could see that there is even though there is pandemic situation, we could see that the want of or the growth of electric vehicles in China and Europe is high, and it also shows the usage of vehicle, the type of vehicle, whether it is a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle or battery-operated electric vehicle is shown. Here we can see even Japan, Korea, Canada, UK, France, all our countries who are the member countries they are showing a progress, and we are not far behind, but still when compared to the amount of thousands, we are bit lagging, and this is the trend which has been going on, and as per the research they say that the vehicle trend will again increase to by 20 to 30% in the next few years in Europe and China, so that it will increase their production as well as the it will also improve the amount of sales of vehicle there. So in this graph, what we can see is the amount of money which is spent by the consumer, government, and the share it has been done by both of them. Here we could see that with increasing uh, uh, buying or initially the government spent much of money, and 2018 they by saying the trend they increased their incentive and people started the procurement of vehicle. In 19 and 20 China reduced its incentives as it is becoming more the number of electric vehicle which is being sold is getting more, whereas China whereas Europe has reduced its by 8%, so that more people are moving towards electric vehicle, and they are seeing to that they are matching the funds which has been allotted by the government is properly used, even though the incentives provided by European countries are more when compared to China. China is in the first place when compared to the sales of electric vehicle, and they have proved it in all those trends which we have seen earlier. So this is about the types of cars which are available, and maybe the number of models available with respect to plug-in hybrid electric vehicle and battery operated electric vehicle. We can see that the small cars in European countries are about uh, 13%, 15%, 15 in models are 15 in number, whereas in China it is in 25. The SUV is in China is above. They have maybe around 92 to 93, and here it is in European countries it is around 43, and in United States it's around 22. So based upon the models also the people and the people are trying to move towards the type of models, the type of cars, and the manufacturers are concentrating more on the other parameters as well, which are to be taken consider towards the weight of the vehicle or torque of the vehicle or the power converters which are related to the vehicle, the amount of range the vehicle could go, these parameters to be considered, or the in terms of charging station, the availability of charging station, the type of charging methods or the algorithms, or these parameters are maintained or they are being studied accordingly, so that the car manufacturers are able to perform such an beautiful task, and they are these are the models which have been going, and we can believe that yeah, we can further uh, see an increased model in coming days, so that we'll have more number of variety of electric vehicles, so that we'll enjoy the benefit as well. So this is with respect to registration from 2015 to 2020, as seen, it can be seen that again China and Europe are kind of easily winning over the race when compared to the other countries in the past 5 years. This is with respect to the buses and trucks which have been registered, and we can see that the United States and in United States we could see a few trucks which have been are converted into electric vehicle, and we can see with the zero down zero drive as per a campaign of energy ministerial, they are started with the trucks in US, and the trend is on. As per the members of uh, EV100, which is a climate group, and they are with the uh, and they are with the manufacturing and selling of electric vehicles. They say that there are five barriers which are not uh, there, which is not allowing them to do better in the business. One is about lack of charging. The 60%, 67% say that is it is due to lack of charging. Other 64 say it is due to lack of appropriate EV type, and 58% it is about capital costs of EVs. 54% it is about operational changes or impacts of things, and 28 they do not know due to the landscapes uh, of the country, maybe due to the underdeveloped policy, or they are not aware of that. Due to the uncertainties, they are not able to break the barrier of selling the electric vehicle to a greater extent. And maybe in the quite some time we'll be prove these myths wrong, and we'll be able to progress with the charging as well. So with the increase in vehicle, the battery demand is also, we have seen that the cost of the batteries have gone down, but the demand for the batteries, and it has increased to a considerable level. The PLDV vehicle, which was around 110 gigawatt per year, it has which was around 100 in the 2019, has gone up to 115, uh, which is which has to be satisfied as well, because we have to find suitable manufacturers of lithium ion batteries as well. As we listened to the previous session, we have learned that there are no much manufacturers for lithium ion in India, and we are getting few proposals for that. Similarly, the global trend is in such a way that we have to have a manufacturers who do a lot of business, and they tend to do this in time. And in the second chart, we can see the increase in demand. Maybe in 2015, if we consider China, it was around 30, and now they have reached around 80, which shows a 50 gigawatt per year increase over the 5 years. Maybe it will definitely increase as we go on per years, and as we convert all our vehicles to uh, electric vehicles. So with respect to fuel cell electric vehicle technology, we can see that Korea is coming into picture as where we are converting the fuels with the help of fuel cells, and it is due to the availability of the charging stations which are available as well. Here we could see Korea is on the top, beating the China, which was front runner. With fuel cell technology, they are around 29%. China is not far behind. It is around 24%, and United States is around 27%. And again, we are somewhere around 5%, where we are struggling to find our match. So for with respect to passenger PLDs and light commercial vehicles, we can see that fuel cell electric vehicles are there mainly used for passenger light commercial light vehicles, so that it will we are able to manage with the cost of the hydrogen cells, and with the available infrastructure for charging stations. These Koreans have a lot when compared to the China and other country. This is about a trend on the fuel cell electric vehicle in the year 2020. So here we are seeing about the type of chargers which are available in the countries of China, Europe, United States, and other world. As we can see, there are different types of charging methods: slow charging, fast charging, DC charging, AC charging. Here we have just done they have done the comparison of fast EVAC stocks and slow EVAC stocks. There are around nearly, we might say, 398, 396 in all the compared 398,000 fast EVSE chargers. EVSE is electric vehicle supply equipment, and there are around 398,000 EVSEs which are available in all the countries in 2020. Whereas in compared to slow EVSEs, which it is about we are around 900. The reason is that slow EVSEs can be easily adopted at home. It is about AC charging, where we will be most of the way homes in foreign countries they might install the type of a charging facility at home, so that they could use you could they can use it for charging purpose. Fast, well, mostly it is there in the commercial areas where or rent malls or traffic places, so that it offers the amount of quantity when compared to slow EVSEs are less. That is the reason the fast EVSEs are less when compared to the slow EVSE model. And the most uh, the, the sales share of electric vehicles which are to taken place from 2020 to 2030. I wanted to have this on slide because we have already discussed a lot about China and Japan, Europe and stuff. Here the important parameter is that we have India in the analysis, and we could see there is a possible increase with respect to uh, battery electric vehicle and plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. And we can see that with SDS is sustainable development, with respect to sustainable development system, we could see an increase in the amount of vehicles which have been produced, and we can expect that the projected value can be achieved over a period of time. And next, we are moving towards the Indian electric vehicle outlooks. All this time, we were talking about the global trend in electric vehicle. Now we are moving towards the Indian trend and how it has been, how we are uh, doing it. As it is taken from Vahan dashboard, where we will be able to do it. We will be able to know the amount of vehicle which are sold, what type of event or the type of place where it is sold and stuff. So so from May 20 to May 21, we have the analysis. We could see that there is a steady rise in the procurement of electric vehicles in India as well. In the month of March, we have around 26,073 odd electric vehicles which have been sold. And again in May, due to the increase in pandemic, and maybe in the mid of April, we have started our lockdown, and it has resulted in the decline in the vehicle. And we are there in the market of electric vehicle as well, because selling electric vehicle of total selling of 26,000 per month in the month of March in all over India is not a common thing. We are in the race, but still it is not enough for us to compete with the other competitors as well. With respect to states, so we could see the Uttar Pradesh is at 19%. And Assam is on 12%, Maharashtra 11%, Tamil Nadu is on 10%, Kerala 5, Gujarat is at 6%, Bihar is 7%, and all other states comprising of the other remaining 19%. So the total number of vehicles, or the maybe the with the initiative of the government, the amount of buses which have been taking into the consideration, these type of EV vehicles are more in when compared in Uttar Pradesh. And we have seen in the news that we have procured in Tamil Nadu, we have procured some electrical buses. So the usage or the sale of these type of vehicles have increased in this that, and we are expecting all other states to improve the sale over the period of time, so that will be moving towards the goal which you have set towards the deployment of electric vehicle. And it is about the two-wheelers. Here we could see it is a comparison between the different types of competitors who have been doing it, and the study has shown that it is about Hero Electric, Okinawa, Ampere, Aether. We could see here that Hero Electric has done a good job when compared to other vehicle, or people are preferring Hero Electric since they are in the business for over a period of time, and they provide a lot of variants and models which are present in the years. And again, we could see that the amount of two wheelers which are sold in the month of March 21 is high, and they have sold around 10,526. It is all over India. This is the rate, whereas when compared to other months, in the month of March we have done a very good job, and as expected in the month of May, where it has gone down due to the pandemic situation as well. If these if the trend continues as in the month of March 21, we are definitely sure that the people are in the mode to get, they have the awareness, they know the pros and cons of the conventional vehicle, and with the prices of petrol and diesel hitting around 100 rupees per liter, people are shifting their mind towards electric vehicle, which is beneficial for us as we are trying to move towards electric vehicle. But even though the journey is long, we are able to make it to the destination in a quite sooner manner. So this is about three wheelers, the status of three wheelers, where mostly it is about autos, the electric vehicle autos, which are used for either for cargo purposes or for carrying the passengers. We can very well see that the electric vehicle autos which are carrying passengers are gaining more importance, and it we could see it in many important cities that auto drivers are shifting towards electric vehicle, as they can earn a bit of more profit. So we will compare the month of March, because March we have seen that the vehicle sale is high. So when in the passengers electric vehicle, around 11,423 electric autos have been sold for carrying passengers, whereas for cargos we have around 2,677. So this is we are there in the electrical market in terms of different types of two wheelers, four wheelers as well. Sorry, two wheelers and three wheelers as well. But with four wheelers, we are lagging behind, and for that we need the type of infrastructure which has been established in other countries, and we are slowly trying to move towards that. So it is about the comparison of the vehicle which is sold by the bigger vehicles, maybe the four wheelers which are sold in the month, all the month from May 20 to May 21. The competitors are Tata Motors, MG Motor, Hyundai, Mahindra and Mahindra. These are the few companies which are in the market, and we could easily see that Tata Motors have Tata Electric, we call it as, they have done a good job, and people are moving towards Tata Electric. Even if you are having an idea with about getting an electric vehicle, you can see to that you can, these types of comparison can give you an idea that what is the people's choice, whether to go for two wheeler, three wheeler or four wheeler. You can you will be able to see the trend, and it can help you with the purchase of the type of electric vehicle you want to get. So since the with respect to two wheelers, we could see that we saw Hero Electric has done the sales of Hero Electric two wheelers are high. So I thought I will go through the available models and the type of vehicles which they are and their specialization. They have a very simple arrangement for two wheelers. They have a converter, battery, MCB controller unit, and they charge it with the usual socket which is available at home. And they are using it as making it as simple as possible with their special specification. And these are the few variants which are available with uh, Hero Electric, and they are about they have named it as LX and HX series. And these are the few models which are available. The point to note is that all these vehicle they are the battery capacity is around 51.2 volts per 1030 ampere power, and the maximum speed is around 25 kilometers per hour, and they use BLDC motor, and the motor power is around 250 watts. So these are the specification which we are more focused on, and these are the lower order or lower model which they have produced. Next comes the HX model, where the we could see the range of the vehicles are varying when compared to the other slide we have seen, and the type of or the number of batteries they have used in the vehicle also as well, because there we have seen only a single battery vehicle. Whether it is here, we could see a combination of single, double, and triple battery as well. And the charging time also it varies. Maybe few vehicles is for 4 to 5 hours, and it is 5 hours for few vehicles. There the maximum speed was around 25 kilometers per hour, whereas here the vehicle is around 45 kilometers per hour. And the motor power, when comparison is getting varied, it is around 550 watt, whereas there it was around 254. Here it is 550, 600, and 1200 watt. Maybe the weight of the vehicles are all the same, the brakes are all the same, the mechanical structure may be always the same, but these parameters such as the battery parameters, the range, and the type of charging they use, the type of motor they use in the vehicle, they play a vital role in their movement. And we could see that they all these vehicles use a common charging system, such as our in Indian socket boxes. And this is about Mahindra's two-wheeler, sorry, Mahindra three-wheeler, where we could see that they have these type of variants which are available. And again, the point we are concentrating on the it is on the speed. For few vehicles, it is around 55 kilometers per hour, and few is around 24.5. And we have the range of the vehicle is also varying. One is around 141, the other one is around 125. And almost the common parameter which we can see in all those uh, all these three slides is that the battery which is being used in these type of electrical vehicle is all lithium ion battery. And they have given the amount of power which is being used by the drive or the motor, maybe the type of weight they can handle, or the things, the time that is taken by the vehicle to charge, and all those things. Moving on, these are parameter, these variants are shown as an example to see how the amount of variants which are available with electric vehicle in India, so that we will be able to make our choices or have an understanding that mostly when we talk on electric vehicles, we see a couple of converters going on, talk on type of battery technology, but as a product, some we might fail to see the entire product or the specification which is available available in India market. We think that it might be available in other countries, but yes, we have electric vehicles, and it has been under a tremendous growth in India as well. And we can make our first step towards clean energy by shifting towards such type of choosing of such type of vehicles. So moving on to the next segment, it is about policy development, and there are many people many ministries which are related to the development or deployment of electric vehicle. One is about Ministry of Heavy Industries, where they have launched about NEMPP scheme and FAME scheme for to disperse financial things. Next comes Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, where they are moving towards the global trucks to zero concept. Ministry of Power, where they are developing the EVSE model, and they are trying to uh, with the knowledge sharing session, they are trying to get and set the all the charging infrastructure which are related to that. And Ministry of Science and Technology, they have formed technology platform for electric mobility, TPEM, and it is funded by Ministry of Heavy Industries and Public Enterprises, and they form the standardization or the roadmap in India for doing all the initial works, and Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. So for initially we need to study the situation, power, the grid. We should analyze the grid arrangements or the amount of power which can be used in the home appliances or on those steps, and the type of spaces where the charging stations can be split up. On all those things have to be taken into consideration, and these are the ministries in India which is under tremendous work. Through these their support, we have framed the policies and developments are taking place in India, and uh, as a part of energy policy in India, we have around 6 steps where we are adopting it right now in the year 2021. First is about faster adoption and manufacturing of electrical vehicles, which is under the NEMPP scheme, where we are giving an incentive around 795 crores, which is around about 114 million for the development of vehicle, and the government is creating a demand, giving such higher incentives to all the people in order to get the interest the buyers and to make the purchase of the vehicles. Next, we are planning to move towards city level facilitation, which is about making smart cities so that we'll be able to be a part of top 100 cities, EV friendly cities. Next, we are trying to make the charging infrastructure with related to power sector also, because we have to develop the infrastructure also. Available infrastructure, we have to study the specific area, the type of renewable energy available in India, because in India we follow different tariff plans. In Tamil Nadu we have one thing, and the other state we have the other. So the amount of power distribution or the how we the power flow demand should be maintained. So we are planning for that also, and the government is involved in decreasing the tax regime also, so that the users will be benefited, and they can when compared to the other vehicle, the on road value of the vehicle can be easily sector. And we have alliances with all the public and private sectors, and we are in the process of creating demand, so that we'll be able to create the facilities first, so that we'll be able to build the possible infrastructure which is to be developed for the use of things. And these are the policies which have been framed over the years. First, it was about alternate fuels for surface transportation program, which was around 2010 National Electric Mobility Mission Plan. It is we are operating from 200 2013, and we have moved from NEM to FAME for 2015, and we are in the second phase of FAME, where we are trying to make at the electrical. We have made around 390 electric buses. We have made around taxis, electric autos. We have a budget to be spent for building the infrastructure, and with 2018 we are considering services for building the infrastructure for electric vehicle charging. And in India we call it as Bharat AC and Bharat DC EVSEs, which are which are available for our competitors to procure, and we are under the process of developing the charging infrastructure in the name of Bharat. So, with talking about the opportunities we have as a consumer, or as a business model, we have a lot of opportunity. We may be a user, we can manufacture a car, or we can establish EV fast charging station, and we can make a charging business operation, or we can be good at procuring lithium ion batteries, and we'll be able to implement or repair it the same, and we can see it as an opportunity to grow our business. If we are owning our any commercial buildings or other things, we can create infrastructure facilities and all those things in a quite rapid manner, maybe in the service apartments or parking lots, food service centers. We can create our product, we can sell it to other people. These are the few business opportunities which can be taken into consideration when we are trying to be an entrepreneur, or when we are trying to develop a EVSC model of our own. So opportunities are many, but we have to blend it according to the needs of the people. Another example where we for if we develop an charging infrastructure, we can use it in all these spaces, which and a development of suitable protocol and energy management system will help us to easily maintain the data with evolvement of data science. Will be able to make an eco-friendly and easy practice for utilizing these infrastructures. So another thing is when where and how we can be used. We can use it for when we are having single family. So this is where the use of slow EV chargers has increased in count, because they are faster and more convenient, and they can they we can leave it for the when we reach home at night. We can charge the vehicle all over the night, and we will be able to make use of it. If we are multi-family, or if we are working in if we are staying in an apartment also, we will be able to have a separate meter. We have a charge parking area where we can reserve for the owners who use such vehicles. We can have we can, according to the number of vehicles, we can establish the charging equipment as well, with the metering and easy payment of money as well. So we for even for commercial locations, we have the opportunity to build a mix of level 1 and level 2 chargers. Maybe sometimes we can consider DC fast charging also. Maybe the most appropriate place for nowadays is that we can have it for malls, cinema theaters, so that people could spend quite some of time, about 3 to 4 hours, where we will be able to charge the vehicle. As well as we should have a better infrastructure and support, so that we'll be able to make the billing process also easily available, and we'll be able to make it an easy plan for people to work appropriately. So a view on EV vehicle and what it is to be done. So this we have been saying all the times. In electric vehicle, we have different types of charger types. One is about onboard chargers and off-board chargers, and there are different levels of maybe level 1, level 2, and level 3, which is about fast charging, which is DC fast charging. Either we can have the chargers on board on the vehicle, or off board. Maybe we'll have a separate structure, and we will try to get the charge from there and use it for charging purposes. And again, the amount of level of charge which is used in other countries, maybe in and we can also use it in our homes. The slow gives the idea. We here it is, we give a idea of slow charging for charging of electric vehicles which are available at home, and these are the levels. And it has been discussed previously in these sessions as well. A general note on battery management systems, since the morning topic had covered battery parameters, was mostly on battery management. Due to shortage of time, I think I can skip it, because these are the parameters as a entrepreneur, or as a businessman, we have to take into consideration. And these are the various types of parameters which are available with respect to battery. And these are the various charging methods which are available. And we have the termination methods with respect to voltage, time, current, temperature. And with respect to temperature, we like to make a special mention, because lithium ion can easily conduct with air, and if it is we have suitable temperature, we could land in a lot of hazard as well. A general charging algorithm is that initially we give increase the voltage, and we call it as bulk charge stage, and the process is we are continuing it to a predefined maximum voltage. And in the next stage we call it as absorption charge stage, where the constant voltage is applied to the pack. During this stage we could see that the current is decreasing gradually, and it is hitting a predefined C rate value. And during this stage a higher voltage than the constant voltage in the absorption stage is applied to the pack, and in order to balance the cells, and we call it as the equalization charge. For after a couple of time, we again reduce the low constant charge in order to make the battery to be in use state, and we call it to be a float start stage. Usually charging a battery would involve such stages, which is during over a period of time. And these are the various charging configuration which are available, which is about unidirectional charges, bidirectional charges, which is under the which has been analyzed, and there are a lot of research going on in these type of charging systems. And with respect to chargers and infrastructures, we have a lot of sorry we have unidirectional charges and bidirectional charges as well. Sometimes we will be able to feed it to the grid as well, but at right now we are concentrating on the unidirectional charges, because since we are in the starting state, we will be make it to a position to have it like this. And a simple block diagram on the type of AC charges and DC charges. AC charges, we are converting our AC to DC, and we have a power control unit, we have protection unit, and then we are charging. And we have a battery management system in order to check for the amount of, if it is overcharged or lessly charged, or if there is any break in the amount of load which is available with the charges. DC charges, predominantly we are converting and storing it in the off-board chargers as DC chargers, and we are through the help of charge controllers, we are when with protection circuit, we are giving it to the battery management system, and we are trying to charge the vehicle. Fast chargers, we are it is a we are converting it when connected to the supply. We are converting it to filters. We are converting into DC. We are isolating it with help of various chargers, and we are giving with the help of filters. We are removing the unwanted harmonics, and then we are charging the vehicles. And these are the few chargers which are available in state. And with charging methods, we have quite a few charging methods, and I would like to show few of the products which are available with ABB and Siemens, where they have developed charging stations for different types of commodities. Maybe I'll shift it to the other window. Hope you can see the window. This is a model by Siemens, where it is for level 1 charging, where they have modeled a ready-made model which can be easily adopted and brought, and you can easily use it at home for purposes. And I'll move to the specifications. So if you are moving towards, if you are a creative person, if you want your they have optimized their models, and so that they can be used in different colors like things. And they have given it for they have 4 variations with option with permanently installed cables with connected grid boxes or mounting plate. Few of the these are few of the things they have given. So our concentration is on the electrical design, and it is necessary to have a network connection so that we will be able to calculate the for the billing process or the vehicle which we are connecting to the we are connecting, and we can make use of apps for paying the bill also. And having a network connection with the charging infrastructure is a needy one. And charging points, we have two number of charging points. We have a plug connector, and the maximum charging current is around 32 ampere per charging point. And these are the few other parameters which are available in terms of electrical design and charging process. It undergoes or it serves the process. And we have yesterday we have seen about standards as well. So these standards, they have to maintain in order to be a charging station, and these are followed by almost all the companies. And this is an example from ABB, where we have it's a home based charging station, where we'll be they have different models for that. And another example is about it is a DC wall box. These types of materials are already available, but it has not been procured or developed in Indian market. So that will be even though if it is there, they are in very meager value. This is about again about DC wall box. And it is about high power generation 3 charges, where we will be able to make it use it for other purposes as well. So these are the products which are easily available in market, and we'll be able to available in market. We can go through such charging station with so that we'll be able to make it in future. And important parameters are those connectors which are available. Glimpse of the various types of connectors which are there for AC charging and DC charging. The basic uh, parts are the power pins which are available, and communication pin. Connection detection pin, we have a socket and ground pin. Connection pin is to establish the whether we have connected to the vehicle correctly or not, and communication pin helps us in communicating the amount of charge which is flowing in the circuit, and the amount of bill that has to be developed, and all those things. All the other charging sockets or connectors have the same thing. Maybe the number of pin configuration may be high, and we have a combination of both AC and DC chargers which are there. And if you have all the charger connectors have a extra latch release button and charging indicator button, which are available for the charging purpose. These are an integral part of the uh, connectors as well. Tesla, this is the connector type which is available in Tesla. So if we are in the plan of building an charging infrastructure, we will be able to, we can plan in such a way that we make it a point that we have all these parameters in state. Moving on to the next segment, it is our duty to make the city into a uh, smart city, where people might say, I might have my EVSE at home. How can I use it when I am outside? Similarly, when nowadays we have petrol pumps around. When we make the city smart, we will be able to charge our vehicle wherever we go. Maybe based upon the amount of distance we travel. Maybe most of us work for 8 hours, 8 to 10 hours per day. We can have the charge. We can charge our vehicles at our premises, or if we go out for some of the shopping malls or any other recreational activities, we'll be able to charge our vehicle there and then and there itself, with the amount of charges which are along with the parking fees, we'll be able to make it. So if it is industry owned vehicles, we can have a fleet of vehicle which can be charged. And we have products which have been developed by Siemens and ABB, which are there in the market to be used. a general infrastructure will have a facility to identify the type of vehicle. Maybe we might get uh, the type of petrol bunks. We can get a card so that we'll able to charge with a particular company. Maybe we can have prepaid models or postpaid models where we will be able to use it accordingly according to the our plan. We have a charging point sockets, and we have electrical protection circuits, and we have an interface screen to help us with the thing. And another example of charging system, these are the few parameters or the equipments which are available uh, in the charging system, so that we'll be able to make it into a proper manner. We have around buck boost module, opto oscillator, feedback control, diode rectifiers. All these things are connected, and this is a general functional block diagram of an AC charging system, where we get it from the grid. We are converting it into according to the needs of the thing. We have a communication protocol where our controller controls the things, and we are able to charge with the help of the current sensor the type of amount of current which is flowing to the battery, and we are trying to access all the data through the sensors which are available to us. And another example for a DC charging system, these are the parameters. For to name few: power module, we have a rectifier, pedal power conversion, IGBT conversion, gate drive controllers. For communications, we have NFC analog front end, diode analog, and we have a charging plug. And for safety purposes, we have fuse and other things as well. Sorry, maybe we'll move the functional diagram. We are convert from the grid. We are converting into DC to we are storing it, and sometimes we are giving it back, and we have to check that whether we have faults. And the precautionary steps has to be taken in order to uh, take care of the safety measures as well. And it involves a lot of sensors and drives which are taking place. Since we have already have had 2 or 3 sessions on power converter factors and controllers, we are not touching much into that due to shortage of time. So even wireless charging is possible. Yesterday we had a query on wireless charging system. It is available. We had a question on frequency. So it is about electromagnetic induction, and few people or few places we do adopt wireless charging systems as well. And this is the functional diagram of a wireless charging system, where we are trying to match the impedance network, and we are trying to charge the vehicle accordingly. So in order to have a sustainable EV charging station, we should have an uninterruptible power supply. We should be connected to data centers. We should have a strong battery energy storage system, and we should have industrial chargers which could be used. And the best possible way is to incorporate the use of solar PV and wind turbine at home, or at places where we could use these resources to charge our vehicle, so that it will be easy for us to do a proper justice, as we are talking about clean energy and stuff. An example of solar charging, and there are universities which are trying to incorporate solar charging. It is similar to PV model, where we are using at home for our metering purposes, for meeting our energy demand. Similarly, we can use it for solar vehicle charging also. So hope in future we will have electric car where we will be able to charge it at the top and use it accordingly. Maybe we'll charge with the EV chargers, and our rooftops are made up of PV cells, so that will make a big boost in the economy, and we'll have a proper thing. So that's the end of the session. Uh, I've come to the end of the session. So hope we have achieved the topics or takeaways which I have promised at the end. We have discussed about few of the available trend. The trend was discussed since we should be able to decide on the charging amount of charging stations which can be developed, since we are planning for an entrepreneurship also. So that we'll be able to do that. It is necessary for any business to do a survey first. So all those surveys have been discussed, the type of connectors and the type of charging systems available or by the competitive persons was also seen, and we were able to do that as well. So with this, I would like to conclude the session. So maybe we'll have the feedback has been already launched. And that's it from me. I've added the feedback link as well. So participants can kindly fill the feedback form. You can join back to the next session by 2 p.m. after your lunch. I have